thing I do is remove the drip tip. Then simply push the cartomizer down, which exposes the flange and gives you a place to pull it out. I pull it out just far enough, as you can see, so that I can then drip juice in. Now, I have altered some of my bottles. I'm not sure if this one is or not, by taking a finish nail and kind of poking it through the dropper. This allows you to squirt it into the tank, but we'll certainly just go this route right now. So you simply take the dropper, put it in to the tank, and fill the tank. Now at this point, we're just going to push the tank back into position. And as you can see, I've got a little juice in there right now. I'm going to top it off with a little bit more. You know, I generally go about 10 droplets. As well, I never fill the tanks all the way up to the top. I like to fill them around 7/8. So let's see if we can get a picture of that in there. Okay, so once the tank is in, I set the tank on a flat surface, take a drip tip, wet the O-ring, push down until I feel that it's snapped into place. Now at this point, I take a dry hit. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to put it over the base of the tank, and I'm just going to suck on it once or twice. I'm not going to show this on the camera, but all this does is basically draws fluid into the bottom. I've already got fluid in the top. Moisture attracts to moisture, and that should fill the entire length of the polyfill material. You'll feel just a little bit of a resistance. So now I have my tank, and I'm probably pretty good to go as far as vaping. I happen to also have another new release, and these are just awesome. This is the new Diamond Manual Series batteries, and you know, I just can't find enough good words to say about these batteries, but I can leave that for a different review. Let's just go ahead and we'll attach this. That actually looks pretty sharp right there. Matte black, black Delrin caps, and a black Delrin drip tip. Now a lot of people worry when, you know, about tanks if they're not familiar with them, and they wonder, well, will they leak if you turn them upside down? And the answer is no, they shouldn't leak. I'm sure if I held this for an hour upside down, eventually juice would flow through the polyfill material, but you know, just for a little bit, no. So that means that you can go ahead and you can rest it on a desktop or a table. Let's real quickly talk about topping off the tank. You know, you've got the feeder holes at the very base here, right above the bottom end caps. And so, you know, when you drain the fluid down, you want to top it back off again. It's kind of a tricky procedure because of the fact that if you do it wrong, you're going to spill your juice everywhere. So I can't emphasize this enough to take your time when you go to top these off. So let's go ahead and remove the drip tip from the tank. What we're going to do is we really want to hold the cap and the tube very securely and push down on the cartomizer, then switch hands, and while you're still holding it securely, take the cartomizer and turn it as you're pulling it out. And you just want to pull it down far enough so that the top of the cartomizer is below the top cap. I don't know if you can see that or not. That will give you enough room to take your bottle of juice and fill it up some more. like so. Then simply push the cartomizer back into place and replace the drip tip. And you have refilled your tank. Now, there's really no way to avoid not getting a little juice on your fingers, just because you're holding, when you pull the flange back, you tend to touch the cartomizer and it's got a little bit of juice on it. So afterwards, just wipe your tank down. Go ahead and reinstall your battery. Got a freshly filled tank. Wow, that's just awesome. The only other advice I can give is, because the polyfill stays so saturated, the best way to take your draw is a very slow, measured draw. If you hit this really hard, you may end up getting a little bit of juice in your mouth. So, the best way to store your tank when not in use is to simply lay it onto its side. This way, should a leak develop, it will not empty the entire contents of your cartomizer. Now, I do have one other way to show you how to hold your tank securely to ensure that the bottom cap does not become dislodged when you go to refill your cartomizer. I'm going to show that to you now. So we'll simply take the drip tip and remove it. Then we'll push the cartomizer out and hold it, the mouthpiece, against your hand with your index and thumb holding the cap with backwards pressure towards the center of your hand, and then pull the cartomizer out. This will ensure that the cap does not pop off. I'm sharing this with you because I learned the hard way months ago. And here's another trick. You can take the cartomizer and just kind of put a little pressure on it, and this will angle it so that you have more room to put juice into the tank without getting any juice into the cartomizer. Let me just go ahead and fill this real quick. And there you have it. Now, one other question has come up. Let me just pop this on here. And that is, are tanks standardized? And the answer is yes. This happens to have a 510 dual coil cartomizer on it, as you can see by the native 510 connection. However, this tank will also use a dual vertical coil cartomizer as well. They are interchangeable because the diameter of the cartomizers are the same. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy vaping, folks.